Hi. So this is day two of I'm trying to beginning to come out because it's often occurred over the years that it's better to speak and tell people what I'm doing because there are several finer points and about how I'm living and how I have been living. And so since some years I've been talking about the idea of living in a glass house. So that comes from the adage that people who live in glass houses do not throw stones. So I've been kind of in the inquiry of what will it take for somebody to live in a glass house, That seemed like an aghast. Like a whew, yeah. Got to really pause and think about that idea of living in a glass house. About, you would want to hide something somewhere, right? And then it took me to think on what would it take to live in a glass house where anybody can peekaboo and see. So I was thinking, what is it I have to hide so much? So from there began the inquiry. Until now I'm beginning to actually kind of living what it takes to live in a glass house. What does that mean? So one of the things that I do notice that I need to be actually saying, maybe it'll ease out a lot of difficulty in how our experience of living is, for example, if you've noticed, I'm wearing the dress that I had worn in my previous video, which was yesterday. So in other words, there are some days when I don't have my bath. And I would like to call it as simple living, high thinking. And that might seem like a nice little excuse for not having a bath. The dirty baby, go have your bath. But I'm thinking the idea of Parvati. Yeah, apparently when there's a story in which she says, she removed the sandal paste from her body and made Ganapati. Yeah, and because the idol that she made, the boy that she made, that Shiva then did not recognize who he was, and then got angry and cut off his head, and then got an elephant's head and replaced it, and that's how the elephant-headed god Ganesha came into existence. Yeah, that's the story. Now the idea is, she says the boy is Shiva's son too. And how is that? Is because she took the paste from her body and made the baby. Now I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, it's sandal paste. There's a lot of symbolism in our mythology. Now I was thinking, this is Parvati we're talking about. And I'm doing Nirbeeja Yoga, and I've noticed that there's something, how you live, your body becomes medicine for earth. In the sense, what comes out of your body, like sandal paste, like the paste of tree. A body is also the outcome of what goes into our body and how we live. So I was thinking, it's a symbolic representation of what comes out of your body, through your body. And if she should say that the boy is Shiva's son too, and when you consider the idea that Parvati is Ardangi, the Ardha Narishwar, they share their two bodies in one pulse of life. And you consider that, and that's how Shiva is, he's Shiva's son. So I was thinking, how could he be Shiva's son if it was just sandal paste? Unless she's talking about the essence of her body from which the boy was made. And if it's the essence of her body, of which Shiva is a part, like the breath and body, yeah? That's the only time when Ganesha, the boy, could be Shiva's son. So I got this idea of this only because I was practicing Nirbeeja Yoga, yeah? And I'm also kind of an ethnographic researcher. In the sense, I'm kind of observing how my physiology is, how I respond to what goes into my body, how I respond to life, and all of that. So I kind of notice it's also kind of my research, but it's also kind of an observation of what are all the finer points about Nirbeeja Yoga and how it is, in what all ways how is it healthy. So it's kind of like a documentation, but there's also, in a way, to say it's okay if you don't have your bath every day. You don't have to kill yourself scolding and arguing yourself or your family members if you're not feeling well enough to have a bath. It's human. These are human fluids, human smells. Sometimes we are salving ourselves with so many scents and perfumes. Sometimes there was a time when I didn't know my own body sweat. I didn't know the smell of my sweat because I would always use a deodorant or a perfume, until one day when I happened to get a smell of something, until I had to recognize that that's my own body, that's my own sweat smell. So we could get that alienated sometimes with our layers of civilization, that we forget how we are also part of nature. What is our nature? What's our natural smells, our natural unflavored, uncovered, unmade up natural composition, so that then we can work on what is our health, that we don't have to use scents and different kinds of pastes to cover up and make look beautiful. And I can be beautiful in my skin as it is. And over and above this, if I'm going to use some colors, some highlighters, use different kinds of, I prefer essential oils, but then how do you know what you prefer until you know what is your original make, what is your natural make? So I hope this gives you pause for thought. Thank you for listening. This is also my attempt to speak my truth, so that I know how much to say and how much not to say, when not to. But I'm work in progress, and it seems like speaking my truth, speaking what I'm doing has value. So I'm hoping that this is going to do the good that ancestors keep saying that there is value in me speaking. Thank you for listening.